Hello, world. This is our weekly memorization and recital / prestidigitation. And today we also have somebody graduating. So we're going to do that first so we don't run out of time. And then we'll do our recitation, unless anybody has an objection. Okay, didn't think so. Okay. So this was sort of a historic week. Today is January 15th, 2016. It was a sort of a historic week in that the school elected a new president, Dr. John Wynn, and added some people to the board of directors. Dr. Wynn has a good background and reputation here, and we expect that a lot of very good things are going to happen with the school. We also have approval to change the name of the school. That has been done with the state. So very soon we will be removing everything that says Larson Training Centers and replacing it with Larson Business School. So that's a good thing. Yesterday, Nolan Bushnell was here in Las Vegas, and we were with him for about 6 hours. He came to the school and talked about a lot of things. And I think one of the most important things he talked about was to be an entrepreneur, to be in business for yourself, as opposed to working for someone else. And he started by talking about if you work for someone else, you're contributing your services wholesale. Okay, so what is wholesale? What does wholesale mean, Larry?
Wholesale, undervalued.
Okay, so wholesale is the price that a retailer pays for something. So you go buy something at a store, the price they bought it for, which was less, is called wholesale. And then there's retail. So he said when you work for somebody else, you're working wholesale because they're marking up your time, right, and charging for it. If you're an attorney, you work in a law firm, and what is the law firm where you work billed per hour for a typical attorney? Non-partner.
Typical attorney will bill $200 per hour.
Okay, $200 an hour. Do you think the attorney gets the $200 an hour? What do they get, like a third?
Probably half.
Okay. So with that law firm, they get a lot. So the attorney's billing the clients at $200 an hour, but they're not getting a check every week for $200 an hour for every hour they bill, because that law firm has to pay for the overhead and things like that. So Nolan's point was, if you're an entrepreneur, you get to pay yourself what you're worth, but also you get to make money off your employees. So that was his starting point, and what he wants to do, what we're going to investigate and proceed with, is creating the Entrepreneur Academy. Now that's going to be different than what we have now, because the agencies will not pay for somebody to become an entrepreneur. The agencies will only pay for people who become employees, people who are going to get a paycheck. So probably what will end up happening is the only students in that class will be people who either have money or B, they are out of high school and their parents would pay for them to go to this school instead of UNLV or somewhere else. They'll pay for it, which probably means that all the students will be white or Asian. So it's going to be different. The California campus will not subsidize it. And the agencies that pay on the ETPO will not pay for something that is not a paycheck job. So it's kind of sad in the sense that the best thing everybody can do for their own job security and welfare is to own your own business. The state won't help people get into that business of owning their own business. And a large group of people who should be in business for themselves aren't willing to pay for an education. But if you said to somebody in Silicon Valley, hey, how would you like Nolan Bushnell to teach you how to be an entrepreneur and go into business? And here's who Nolan Bushnell is, and it's going to cost you $500 a month. How many people do you think there would be people that would say, yeah, if I could have Nolan Bushnell help me get into business, right? A lot of people would say, yeah, I could go to Stanford and pay $50,000 a year, pay $4,000 a month, and I wouldn't get to talk to Nolan Bushnell or the guys from Google or anything like that. I mean, I got to pay for 4 years if I go to Stanford. But here, instead of going to UNLV or CSN, I can go to the Entrepreneurs Academy and have Nolan Bushnell coaching me, guiding me, reviewing my business idea and helping me get into business for myself. And the last thing we got from Nolan is there are so many businesses that people can start that don't take money. That don't even take a dime, right? And what's his favorite example? The dog walking business, where a guy in his first year made how much? $150,000, because he was good at getting people to say, yeah, I'll pay $10 to walk my dog. And he was good at hiring people at wholesale, $10 an hour, $12 an hour. And, I think if you go down to a place where they have dogs, you can find some granny or somebody who, if you say, hey, would you mind walking a few other dogs with your dogs? I'll pay you $10 an hour. They'd say, sure, right? I love walking dogs. I'm going to walk my dog. You'll pay me $10 an hour to walk these other 5 dogs or 3 dogs. And so that was an example of eBay, going to people in neighborhoods and saying, hey, you got a bunch of junk in your garage that you're not using, or you have a storage unit, sell stuff on eBay. What I would say about that would be to go to storage places, many storage places, and put flyers out or have business cards made that say, I can sell this stuff for you on eBay. Go take pictures of it, create a form, take pictures of it, go put it on eBay, sell them. So a lot of ideas. And so it's been a good week, a historic week. Next week should be even better. And then the last thing is Marty's graduating. So that's a historic thing. But Marty's gone through in 16 weeks. Yeah. Right, Marty? Yeah. So, and how many hours does Marty have, Phyllis? 524 hours. So that means you missed a few times. Yeah. Okay. Because normally it would be 560 if you went all the way through. Oh, but we did have some short weeks. Yes. We had a couple short weeks and holidays. So good job. So I'm going to say a couple of things about Marty. And Marty has been beneficial to the school because Marty, number one, participates and tries. And part of the thing when you're up in front of the class, you ask questions and you need people to participate and answer questions to your friends. Okay, he might be calling back. So Marty participates. And I think Marty, if we go back and look at Marty in the beginning versus how he is now, Marty has come a long way in terms of the level of participation that you did. Not that you didn't start, but I think you feel more comfortable and there's more things that you do. And we identify, I think, a couple areas where Marty can continue to grow so he gets to the point of financial security through stable and meaningful employment. Specifically like making calls, which is an important skill to have. But that didn't mean that Marty didn't try and didn't do it and didn't really hide. I think, and so, how it helped the school was Marty was somebody that could be counted on to answer questions, to do a good job of trying to get the most out of the school possible instead of getting the least out of it. So that was good. And I would say the other thing is, there's three measures to people. One is how they see themselves, what we think our talents are. Another one is what other people think your talents are. And the third thing is what your talents actually are. And sometimes it's good for people to think you're more talented than you are. And sometimes it's good for people to think you're less talented than you are. And sometimes it's good for you to think you're more talented than you actually are. And, what I would say about Marty is more talented than he thinks he is. And so the shortcomings, that's not the right word, but, areas where no matter what you did, I think that you have the ability to do more than you actually do, but you inhibit yourself because you don't think you can do stuff. I think you have an opportunity to do very well. And I think you asked a question of Nolan. Wasn't that you that he said, that's a great question? That's right on. Yeah. So in watching Nolan's reaction, I've known Nolan for 20 years. And I've been friends with him for almost 20 years. And when somebody asks a good question, he responds that way. If they don't ask a good question, if it's just a mediocre question, he doesn't do that. And if they say something stupid, he's going to say something. So, for example, yesterday when we were at Casa Grande, we walked into somebody's office, and the person said, everything in this office was made by convicts. And Nolan said, so your mother was a convict? And that person was somewhat offended. Like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean my mother was a convict? Yeah. Nolan said, well, you said everything in here was made by a convict. I thought you had everything. So Nolan will not say, hey, that's a really good question, unless it was a really good question. And your ability to ask a question of Nolan to say that's a really good question, to me, verifies this thing that you have more talent than you think you do. And so I think the takeaway for you, Marty, would be don't not do things because you think you can't do it. Or if you do things, don't think you can only do it to a certain level. Put everything into it, and you will probably surprise yourself of how well you can do. And so now moving forward, so come on up here, Marty. Moving forward to the certificates Marty gets. So one is the certificate for basic business education. Okay, so I'm going to hand these to you. Okay. As we go through. Brain rush. What was Marty's brain rush score?
32 cents.
Now, Edwards, that's a continuation from before?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's a good score. So that's one of the, do we know what the top score was ever? Okay. The certificate for the cloud, completing. Typing 42 words per minute. Okay. Good. So you're definitely in there in 152 for 10 key memorization. And here is a return voucher so you can come back for a year. Okay, now Marty, I'm going to turn it over to you where you get to say whatever you'd like.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, first I would just like to express my gratitude to the school. The reason being is as a kid, I picked up some bad habits as a kid and kind of resulted in a negative lifestyle. As an adult, I became very set in my ways. So when I finally did go to prison at 28, reality hit me, and I realized that I had no marketable skills. I didn't even know what my passion was at the time, anything I was passionate about. So when I came to Larson, I was lost, and I feel like Larson really gave me direction, and I actually know the path I want to take now. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for that, and I really respect the approach that Larson takes as far as career training, because I always had that fear of going through life and getting to a point where the point of no return, realizing that the career I had chosen to take up wasn't really something I was passionate about. It was maybe someone else's dream or someone else's idea of success. So I had become getting back in touch with myself and realizing kind of let's start learning how to think for myself and getting back in touch with myself. I feel like I now have direction and I know where I want to go from here. So I do want to thank the director. Like I said, I really respect the approach you take and the time you take to really get across to us the importance of the of the fact that of asking the question, who am I and why we behave the way we do, and that's definitely I admire what you do. So and Phyllis, of course, because without her patience and her without her being here, she's helped me countless times, and yeah, I never had any problem getting the help I need, and I'm really grateful for that. Other than that,
how about anything regarding TED Talks for Chris Anderson?
Yeah, TED Talks. Yeah, I did. I actually thought about that, and I actually came up with one specific one that interested me the most, and that was Dan Dennett's illusion of consciousness. And he made he made a really good point about the fact that we not only don't understand our own consciousness, it's actually actively fooling us. And how I relate to that is I notice how people think they have so much control over their life and over the decisions they make, when really I feel like people are so I don't know if that's the right word, to suggest suggestions that people are constantly changing their minds and going, like, religions, whatever you may have you, but it made me realize that I need to be more, more aware of the fact that we are persuaded by other people's ideas and perceptions. So,
did you like doing the TED Talks every day?
I did. That was one of the things that really kind of started giving me where I started getting my confidence back, because I was becoming more in touch with myself, and actually, why I do the things I do, and why my body reacts certain ways, and it gave me a foundation to build from. And I feel like everybody should take this class, because in those TED Talks, the way they're outlined and the way they progress and the way they just are in order, it's awesome, because it covers everything I feel like everybody should start with before they start pursuing a career.
Okay, now I have two more questions. One is, when do you get out?
And in the bank.
And is that roll or
Expression.
Okay, good. And the last question is, how about some comments about Nolan yesterday?
Nolan is a very interesting guy, and his outlook on life and his and just his outlook on life is amazing. The way I couldn't agree with him more, that people are just kind of walking around dead from the neck up these days, and don't really actively use their brain anymore. It's just that really hit me, and the way his answer to my question really helped me a lot, because I didn't know.
What was the question?
My question was I'm trying to look at starting up a business, and I was intimidated by the fact that so many people are doing the same exact things that there's just so many people doing, trying to do the same thing as that I would like to do, or the passion I would like to pursue. And I just wondered if you continue to pursue that passion, or look for more innovative ways to start up a business. And his answer was great. I think to actually focus more on experience, because people are getting less and less, I guess, amused by objects or wanting to collect objects. They're more looking to have an experience, and Vegas, as he mentioned, is a perfect place for that, and that people want to be entertained, and they want to, yeah.
Okay, well, great, Marty. Thank you very much, and congratulations. And who's doing graduating next? Deanna? And then what about you, Jesus? Oh, okay. How about you, John?
I'm going to try to graduate within the next 5 or 10 years.
Okay. All right. Terrific. Okay, so now we move on to part 2, which is the weekly memorization, recitation, prestidigitation. Is anybody doing prestidigitation this week? No. Okay. Okay, who's doing which parts? So Edward is not here, so we don't have to worry about that, right? Okay. Okay.
2, 3, 2.
Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, great. And who wants to go first? Marty, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Well,
You need to breathe. I said you need to breathe.
Quiet on the set.
3.
Well, my name is Matt Gordon. This is my 6th week at Larson. I'm going to be doing the poem "How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways" by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. This will be the first attempt, so I'm going to be reading this, unfortunately. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and light, a height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight, to the being and the ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love freely, as men strive for rights. I love thee purely, as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs, with my childhood's faith. I love thee with the love I seem to lose, with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. Good job.
What was the time she was reading? Was that Julia?
Oh, Maria?
Huh?
Julia?
Was that right?
I don't know.
Good job. Next, that's me.
Oh, good. Yeah. Why didn't you recite? I heard you earlier.
I'm just having a little trouble with
Quiet on the set.
Wait, hold on.
Quiet on the set.
3.
Hi, I'm Deanna, and I am currently in Larson Training Centers, and today I will be reciting Tiger, Tiger by William Blake. And I'll be reciting the first paragraph, and then I'll be reading the rest. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Okay, in what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wigs dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? Okay. That's it. Oh,
Somebody give her a book. Come on,
okay.
So it's symmetry.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, symmetry. Okay.
Start from the top.
Yeah. Start from the top. Okay. Tiger, tiger. Hold on.
Quiet on the set.
3.
Okay, I'll be reading Tiger, Tiger by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer with the chain in the furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dead grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry?
Good. Now, when was he alive?
1757 to 1827.
Okay, so that's a couple hundred years ago. Okay, good job.
Next.
I don't know why. People
Go ahead.
build any anxiety for waiting.
Probably not. Remember when you did those people line up?
Yeah, I was like.
It used to be the yellow line.
Yeah. Quiet on the set.
3.
Hello, my name's Larry Spellman. Today, I've been here 4 weeks. This is my 3rd memorization test. I'm going to recite People's Song by Robert Browning. Okay. The year's in the spring, the day's in the morning. The morning's at 7. The hillsides dew pearl. The lark's on the wing, the snail's on the thorn. God's in his heaven. All's right with the world.
All right. So look like you were picturing the whole thing.
Sort of.
Okay, good job. All right. Good delivery.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get it.
My name is Jesus Sanchez. Okay.
Quiet on the set.
3.
My name is Jesus Sanchez. This is my 8th week at Larson Training Center. I will be reading The Tiger by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant keeps or skies breath the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand there sees the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of my heart? And when the heart began to beat, what red hand and what red feet? What the hammer, what the chain, what the furnace, what's the brain? Thy brain. What the anvil, what their grasp, their deadly terror's glass. When the stars threw down their spears, what water heaven with their tears? Did he smile for to see? Did he who made the land make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye there frame thy fearful symmetry?
Good job. Okay, Mike, what do you need? Oh, right. I'm ready to do.
I figured on what I say, I could just pick one out of my favorite.
Mike, what do you need? You're gonna say you're doing special.
Okay.
Quiet on the set.
3.
Hi, my name is Marty Burnham. This is my 16th week at Larson. I graduated today, and I'll be reading The Road Ahead or The Road Behind. It's a special poem, one that I chose for my graduation day, I guess. The Road Ahead or The Road Behind by George J. Moriarty. Sometimes I think the fates must grin as we denounce them and insist. The only reason we can't win is the fates themselves have missed. Yet their lives on the ancient claim, we win or lose within ourselves. The shining trophies on our shelves can never win tomorrow's game. So you and I know deeper down there is a chance to win the crown. But when we fail to give our best, we simply haven't met the test of giving all and saving none until the game is really won, of showing what is meant by grit, of fighting on when others quit, of playing through, not letting up. It's bearing down that wins the cup, of taking it and taking more until we gain the winning score, of dreaming there's a goal ahead, of hoping when our hopes or when our dreams are dead, of praying when our hopes have fled, yet losing, not afraid to fall. If bravely we have given all, for who can ask more from men? And giving all within a span, it seems to me, is not so far from victory. And so the fates are seldom wrong, no matter how they twist and wind. It's you and I who make our fates be open up or close the gates on the road ahead or the road behind.
Okay, good. Now, when was that written? What does he say? What's his,
It doesn't give a date.
does he say when he was alive?
No.
Okay, did you remember who he was, the author?
Morning, Harvey?
Okay, so he was a Major League Baseball umpire. And he has the distinction, he has kind of the strange spelling of his last name. There's only one I in it. And batters would often say to him that he has one more I in his name than in his head.
Yes.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means you can't call balls and strikes.
Yeah, you can't see. Okay, thank you, Marty. Good job. Okay. Mike, did you ready to go there? Purple cow?
I haven't done that in a while.
Okay.
This is the 23rd song.
Okay, which one?
I don't know.
Okay. 23rd song, I think. Okay, didn't you do well on that one? Was that one of your better ones? Oh. What was one of the ones you liked? Other than
I did not have
okay, good.
Quiet on the set.
You're great.
Hello, world. My name is Michael Anderson, and I'm here at Larson Training Center, and I'm a graduate, and I graduated on December 18th, 28th, or the 18th. And I will be reading How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, 1806 to 1861. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth of and height my soul can reach. When feeling out of sight for the end of being in the ideal of grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need. By sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use, and my old grief and my child's faith. I love thee with love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God chose, I shall but love thee better after death. Thank you very much. Okay, I want to congratulate Marty for graduating. You know, me and Marty goes back a long way. I think I told him about the school when I used to live next door to me, and he made it through. And I knew Marty was smart, but like the director says, he don't give himself a lot of credit, but you know he's smarter than what he think he is. And I want to say thank you for today, and we're out.
Okay.